Dr. Margaret Lenton was well versed in her patients' weaving of tales regarding phobias, paranoia, and delusions. It was a therapist's job, after all, to discern the mind's intricate tapestries. But when Lucas, a man in his mid-30s, began describing the shadow man, she felt a disconcerting shiver. "He stands at the foot of my bed, doctor," Lucas whispered, his voice trembling. "Tall, impossibly so, with arms that dangle lifelessly, touching the ground. No features, just a silhouette. But the worst part, his eyes, like burning coals, glowing in that void of darkness, watching me." Margaret leaned forward. This wasn't just a standard nightmare. The terror in Lucas's eyes was palpable, too raw. "And what does this shadow man want?" she asked. Lucas gulped. "To consume me, I think. Not my body, but my essence, my emotions, my fears." Margaret continued their sessions, treating Lucas's claims as manifestations of trauma. Yet, with each session, Lucas seemed to grow more vibrant, more alive. The bags under his eyes receded, his voice steadied. He claimed the shadow man's visits were less frequent. Then, one night, Margaret awoke to a paralyzing cold. There, at the foot of her bed, stood the shadow man, the void-like silhouette, those elongated, dangling arms, and those hauntingly glowing eyes staring right at her. Panicking, she reached for the lamp. The room flooded with light, and the figure vanished. She convinced herself it was a trick of her tired mind, an echo of Lucas's haunting tales. But the visits persisted. Each night, the entity stood a bit closer. She could feel the temperature drop, an oppressive weight in the air. Whispers echoed around her room, unintelligible but undoubtedly menacing. Lucas, on the other hand, was thriving. His life had turned around. He'd found a job, even started dating. But Margaret was spiraling. Sleep-deprived, paranoid, she saw the shadow man's eyes in every dark corner, felt his presence constantly. His essence seemed to seep into her thoughts, warping her reality. One evening, Margaret set up a video camera, desperate for evidence. The next morning, the footage showed her worst fears. The shadow man, materializing at her bedside, those burning eyes fixed on her. But something else caught her eye. Wisps of darkness, like smoke, being drawn from her and into the entity. It was feeding on her, just as Lucas had described. At their next session, Lucas noticed Margaret's deteriorating state. "It's him, isn't it? The shadow man," he murmured, a knowing look in his eyes. "How do I stop him?" she begged. Lucas hesitated. "You have to pass him on, like a contagion." Revulsion filled her. "I can't do that to someone else." But desperation and fear have a way of warping one's morality. Margaret started seeing a new patient, Jane, a young woman battling anxiety. Margaret began weaving in tales of the shadow man into their sessions, planting seeds of the haunting image. The night came when Margaret awoke, free from the paralyzing cold, free from those burning eyes. But with dawn's light came the heavy burden of her actions. She discontinued her sessions with Jane, but rumors spread of a young woman speaking frantically of a shadowy figure with burning eyes. The shadow man was a parasite of the psyche, hopping from host to host, and Margaret would forever bear the weight of her choice, haunted not by shadows, but by guilt. Thank you so much for watching today's video. We really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please take a moment to give it a like. If you want to see more content like this, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you'll never miss an upload.